Hello there, and welcome back to the This Is an Album podcast with myself, Jacob, and as always, my wonderful friend Reese. A slightly different introduction is going to follow this one, as I said Reese's penalty word last week, so the forfeit is on me. So, out of context, I'm going to go take a shower and do this introduction.
we had a few options of forfeits, but I feel like that's probably the best one.
You're not going to see anything on the video either. Sorry.
Yeah, don't get too excited.
You got to pay for that. Oh wait, I'm gonna clap and then I'm gonna be there, aren't I?
Oh, is that what you're gonna do?
Editor Reese is just gonna cut to me showering.
I would just like to point out I can't actually see what's going on at this point.
Oh, it's so cold. Hello there, and welcome back to the This Is an Album podcast with myself, Jacob, and my wonderful friend Reese. If you're wondering, as I mentioned, I thought it'd be a great idea to do it in the shower, but we brought out hot water. So I'll have fucking freezing. In this podcast, we're talking about the fantastic album. What's Inside is more than just hand by feet. And before we start, a few formalities if you're new here. Apologies if you're new here and this is how you're hearing it for the first time. Each week me and Reece bring an album for you to listen to, and we just sit down and we talk about it. This week, as I said, is Feet, and I'm very excited to talk about this album. There may be some swear words in this podcast. If you don't like that kind of stuff, then please move along. There's a interval section halfway through this podcast where each week me and Reece bring something weird and wonderful for the others to listen to. This week is courtesy of Reece. I have no idea what it is. At this current point, I don't care what it is. We also have a penalty word section, which is why I'm currently in an ice cold shower doing this stupid bit. So each week we write down a penalty word, and if the other person says it, they do a forfeit. This is my forfeit, and I'm done now. Okay, so without further ado, let's talk about this week's album. As I've said about 3 times already. What's Inside is more than just hand by feet.
All I wanna do is sit alone on purpose, sipping.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, that was fucking brilliant.
Oh. So Reece, as if nothing happened, what is your favourite song/songs on the album? As we always like to pick things off with.
Okay, we're going straight for favourite song. I think my favourite song, I don't know, probably Add Blue, I think. Either Add Blue or the title track actually.
Title track. I think that's my favourite. Well, actually, I've got some fun stories about some of the tracks, which
I hope
slightly changed my
Oh, really?
favourite song. I've got a top 3, but like some of them contributed.
I'm going to say the title track is my favourite.
And what do you think the title track is about?
I haven't got a clue.
It's a love story from the perspective of a hot dog,
Oh, okay.
which makes sense.
What are they? What are the lyrics? Hot dog in a hot bun world.
Yeah. That like kind of. It's all, I don't know why, but the first thing I kind of thought was like a cabaret kind of ending where it's quite showbiz talking about the hot dog world.
Yeah.
But a very suit. I don't know if suiting's the right word, but it's a very interesting title track.
and theme. Well, it's not really a theme. It's not an overarching theme, but it's definitely an interesting love story perspective.
Yeah.
One that I haven't heard of before.
No, I've not heard that. It's great. Is there like a theme to this album? Is it about anything, or is it literally just as random as it could possibly?
I think because, I mean, judging by some of the stories behind some of the songs, which I'll get into in a bit,
Yeah.
I don't think so, because there isn't a running theme of hot dogs and ham throughout.
No.
And then you can't, and then the others don't really lead off to be about hot dogs either. So I feel like it's just kind of gone, here's a title track about hot dogs, and then we'll kind of talk about whatever the fuck we want after that.
Yeah.
Because I felt like when I first listened to this album, it kind of had this similar subliminal theme that Liz Lawrence had about like being in your 20s and not really knowing what the fuck's going on and just talk about silly stories and stuff.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I didn't do enough research to actually look into what the songs are about or like what the stories are and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's what I could sort of understood from it. Is it seemed like just a bunch of young British people just writing songs about the random shit that happens. Like Ad Blue is about. That's the only one that I saw. It was about him making tea with Diesel. Or something.
Yeah, diesel coolant.
The bass player made a cup of tea with diesel coolant.
And then if you watch the music video, which is fucking amazing, it's just them in like cowboy sheriff outfits, and they've got like kettles and stuff, and that's like a hint towards him using petrol and diesel coolant.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, my first thought was, I wonder if that's actually quite nice.
I mean, I love the smell of it, so...
Yeah, I'll have diesel coolant and 2 sugars, please. But yeah, so for anyone who is just incredibly confused as to what's happened so far this podcast, it's understandable.
Yeah,
I'm quite flustered still from my forfeit. But this album, What's Inside Is More Than Just Ham by Feet, is a fantastic... It's a real mishmash of genres, I feel.
Yeah.
All in one. It's kind of, you got Britpop, alt rock, indie, a little bit of psych rock I feel in there. There's some punk, some disco beats. Like, it's such a beautiful combination of influences and genres.
Yeah.
And it is compiled of, I only gave, I feel like I showed some bias to the lead singer because I gave him a little intro, but it's only because I read it and I thought it was quite funny to include. But handlebar mustache lead singer George, I can't read my own handwriting, Havison, I think. Apologies if I can't read my own handwriting. Guitarists, there's 2 guitarists, Callum Parker and Harry Southerton. Bassist Ollie Shasha and drummer Ben Firth. And they are the members of Feet. Some of them met at Coventry Uni.
Yeah.
Others have been sort of, the band's kind of had varying members that have been sort of substituted and yeeted off. And this album that we're talking about today is their debut album, which they released in 2019. And like I said, I've got some silly stories.
I didn't realise it was their debut. That's
cool. Yeah, it's their first album. They haven't got any others. They released a single last year.
Oh, okay.
But this was their first album.
That's nuts. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's I mean, what a fucking bang! Because you showed me this album. I remember you sending it to me. You sent me English Weather.
Yeah.
Which was my favourite for a long time, because the more you listen to it and the more you kind of learn the lyrics, it's such a good song.
Yeah.
Like we're by the coast. Well, it's not like we're by the coast. English weather, you better pack an umbrella. English weather, answer English weather. English weather, you better pack an umbrella. English weather.
And that's kind of, English Weather's definitely one of the more kind of disco-y, dancey ones, I feel.
It's probably the most sort of simple, like well, maybe not simple, but most kind of like typical song structure, you know, chorus-led song, I guess. I was listening to English Weather the other day when I was walking to work, and it was pissing it down as it always does.
Very appropriate song to listen to.
Yeah, and it was really windy. Do you remember when it was really windy at the beginning of this week?
Oh,
Like shit was
yeah.
flying everywhere.
Fuck wind. Honestly.
I was walking to work in the rain, and the chorus started. And as the chorus started, I walked past like a moped that was parked on the pathway, and the moped blew over
Oh fuck.
onto its side. Like as the chorus started, I was like, "Yeah,
Nice English weather.
English weather." Yeah,
But yeah, so you're saying that the title track is your favourite?
I think so. Yeah, I just think
Okay.
it's. I think the way
I
that
would
it,
not have said that. I would not have said that that was your favourite.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with it.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I mean, I love all of them. I think
Yeah.
I think there's a couple I think there's 4 songs that are not contenders to be my favourite, and then the rest of them
Okay.
are pretty much.
Oh,
equal.
okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. But I still think that for me, the songs that I haven't picked as my favourites are still great songs, but they're
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I say, not for me as strong as the others.
Yeah.
For me, Chalet 47 is probably my favourite.
I love that song. Yeah, it's really good. It's a
And then-
different singer on the chorus, right? Is it the guitarist?
Yeah,
or
it's
someone?
it's one of the other guitarists.
And if it's one thing you should know about cruising down a post with this and better lanes, it's like this traffic using numbers, losing pints of liquids, a service station toilets. If only we could fall asleep and forget about the road.
So I don't think they directly said this, but the fact that they the way they phrased it led it to be that the theme of and the concept of this of Chalet 47 is that they moved into a retirement village in Portsmouth to do some writing and recording.
Wow. Okay.
And obviously being quite a loud band that they are, some of the residents didn't really take to it very well.
Yeah.
So it sort of built up to one of the elderly residents coming up to them and telling them to shut the fuck up.
I mean,
I think it's great.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of to be expected, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, if you go to a retirement village and make what we consider wonderful noise, what they
Yes.
probably consider just noise, yeah, you're going to piss some people off. But imagine being like a cool, trendy old person and this like cool band moving next door and you're like, fucking sweet.
Cold.
Crack on.
Yeah.
Cold feet, yeah. But yeah, so that I think that's the story behind that one. And they've got like from the interviews and stuff that I read, they've got so many fun stories. Like I think they don't take themselves too seriously and they
yeah.
kind of do what young bands should do and just fuck about and have a good time.
Yeah.
Especially with this kind of music as well. Like I don't think you could I think it'd be very difficult and quite bizarre to have an uptight band write and perform music like this.
Yeah, I think it's difficult, isn't it? When you're starting off in a band when you're young and stuff, you kind of, unless you're so unless it's literally just a group of tight knit friends and you're all just a bit nuts.
Yeah.
Like there's always going to be an air of sort of like, oh, we should be doing that, or I just learnt this the other day, let's put that into a song. Or like it seems like they listen to like weird types of music and then use that to write about the weird things that happen
Yeah,
to them.
100%.
Like living in a retirement home in Portsmouth, that's mental.
I wouldn't. I like in the bands that we've been in and we're in. I wouldn't have thought to do that.
No, definitely
Like,
not.
Well, I mean, the reason why they had a hat one of their grandfathers had a house there, so I mean, it was obviously
really?
available to them to do that.
Yeah.
But even so, like, still a very strange place to say, yeah, fuck it, let's go do it.
Yeah.
So that Chalet 47, Ab Blue is about the drinking diesel coolant.
Off of the water to the sky.
And then Axeman, which I think is a really disco themed song. That's about Callum, the other guitarist, found out his house had been robbed when he popped home to have a frozen pizza on the way to the pub.
It's so British. Like
It is. It's almost quintessentially British.
Yeah,
like
it really
it's
is.
it's just I'm just gonna nip home and have a frozen pizza on the way to the pub, and then I'll be over. Oh shit, I've been burgled.
oh shit, I've been burgled.
And then let's write a song about it. It's great. And then sometimes I think like I obviously don't wish to be robbed, but like sometimes things like that need to happen to be able to create great music like they have here.
Yeah,
But then also
definitely.
saying that they don't really need much prompting if they can write a banger about a love story from the perspective of a hot dog.
Yeah, or walking a dog.
Or walking a dog. I love that one.
I love that
dog
song.
walking's my
Yeah.
third favourite.
Yeah.
I always do it in the like in the outro bit. Not the outro bit, it's like the second or third verse where it's like, whose dog is this, whose dog is that?
Yeah.
That line. I always, whenever I'm working, I'll just turn to my side and just mouth it and like point as if I'm looking at a dog, like, whose dog is this? I always do it, it's great. Or like when I'm walking, I'll just like look to my side, like, whose dog is this? Such a weird little thing, but I love doing it. It's great. But it's so catchy.
Whatever makes you happy, mate.
Oh, absolutely. It's the small things. It's the small
They
things.
say things like, whose dog is this? Whose dog is that? So I got a big cross drawn on my back. Oh, why can't I do this?
But yeah, like I just love that it's just like we said last week with kind of on the nose things. They're just very upfront and
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
what's inside is what you expect, even if it's more than just ham.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I love it.
Shall we listen to a little bit of each of our favourites?
Yeah, go for it. I want to put on the title track
Go for
for a
it.
bit.
Because you kind of got like a trap drum and bass, like slightly down tempo drum and bass groove going on here.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And then like that's just drums. Like the drums are like phenomenal throughout, I feel.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's very like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It sounds like a punk drummer playing different styles, which is often like a really the way that those kinds of like meat and potatoes drummers will play different styles of music is really interesting. I love this transition.
Full to the brim, and a Brian feel guy I am. Hot dog, a bun, I long for you, my saucy side. I try to cry, but you can't tell me apart, 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 apart,
So good.
I just love to be on a fly on the wall when they're writing this stuff.
Oh yeah, it'd be brilliant.
Like, how do they? It's just it's so It's one of the few like things. You know how you were talking about how there's lots of different, obviously, genre influences and whatever. When I was thinking of that, because I always like to, think about how what could have influenced them, genre wise. Did they take stuff from old disco music or whatever? But there's so much influences, there's so many influences in here. Like it just sounds like something completely new. Because you've got a guitar sound that's taken from one thing, a drum part that's taken from another genre, like that wouldn't be put together at all.
No.
But it's one of the few times where I've listened to something new and thought like it just sounds completely individual, and it's just their
Yeah,
it's like their
100%.
sound. No, I've never heard anything that sounds the same kind of, you know, vibe as this. I mean, you could say that like some of the choruses sound like, you know, like old British Britpop stuff, or Blur, or whatever. There's, you know, elements of that, and when you read up about them, they talk about Blur, and I can't think of any others, you know, that sort of
Yeah.
but like, I didn't think of anything like, and I didn't think of any artist when I listened to this. It just sounded like something new.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. There's like, there's a couple kind of similar, but I don't. It's like, especially now in that kind of indie scene. Let's just go with that. We'll I don't really want to categorize it as that, because there's so many different other things. But there's the similar artists don't, album-wise, have that much variation. I don't feel that
I
that
think
have
that as
similar
well.
songs, but I don't think the albums have as much variation as this. And like you mentioned transitions earlier, I think my favourite transition is the one in Good Richard's Crash Landing,
Oh yeah.
going into the kind of outro-y double time bit.
Yeah.
Dancing all my life, did it. Dancing all my life, did it. Did it all my life, did it. All my life, did it. All my life, all my life.
This sounds like something that people in museums would do.
Yes, definitely. No, definitely. It's. I think that's definitely something that we tried to do. I think we are writing somewhat similar stuff. Would just be like, let's think of something silly and try and
Yeah.
make it work.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's like it's not just, oh, here's something silly and it's great. It's like you do plan it a bit. And I hadn't have thought of that directly previously, but that does make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, again, I say this every week with some of the albums we talk about, but being kept on my toes is so much fun. And especially when it's this kind of fun as well, where it's like good dance music and stuff. I'd love to see them live.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's carnage.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Because there was a story, I got one for you. They were talking about a show that they played recently, and halfway through, the guitarist snapped the neck of his guitar, throwing it at someone.
Wait, he snapped it and then threw it at someone, or he threw his guitar at
No,
someone?
he threw it at someone and it snapped.
For fuck's sake.
And then I also found it quite fun because in 2018 they played Great Escape, and Callum, the guitarist, finished his dissertation in the van. Like, is that not the life?
Yeah, that really is.
I finished mine in fucking Guildford Library crying. Like,
Yeah. That's
nothing glamorous about that.
again quintessentially British.
Yeah,
Finishing
Absolutely.
your dissertation in a van on the way to
a tour van. Yeah,
on the way to a gig.
so sick. But yeah, I think that is the halfway point.
I reckon so.
I reckon so.
All right, so this week's Weird and Wonderful. In fact, is there a way that I can share the audio and not my screen?
No, I can shut my eyes.
Can you not hide it on your screen? Can you not?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
I'll just minimise it. That's fine.
yeah, if you minimise it so you can't see but you'll still be able to hear it. All right.
Yeah, I can still see your face. That's fine.
You can see my face, but you can't see my screen, right?
Can't see the screen.
Cool. Okay, let me find it.
I can shut my eyes as well, just in case. I don't mind.
No, it's fine. I'm just gonna play it. I'm not gonna say anything about it.
This is when you reverse Uno me and rip roll me.
No, that's not something I'm gonna do. Right. Okay, let me just find the right spot. Oh bollocks! I've lost the time.
Baby. That's it. Nice and normal.
Oh man, I miss listening to this on the train. This is fucking gold.
Pop your spunk in a jacket potato, baby. Spunk in a jacket potato. Nice and normal. That's it.
That's
Nice and
normal.
normal.
Nice and normal.
Nice and normal. Oh, I kind of want to listen to that bit now.
the whole thing. It's too long.
Oh, it's so good.
I'll see if I can do a summary of it. So that's
Yeah.
there's a podcast with Joe Wilkinson and David Earl, and it's called Gossip Mongers, and they tell they get people to send in their favourite gossip, and it's oh, I lived in a town once and there was a man who used to wear a monkey costume every day or something, something stupid like that. But this story was one of a doctor that worked in the fertility clinic, and he used to collect sperm samples for fertility whatever, and someone when you'd come in to put yourself down to donate. They would give
yourself down.
Put yourself down. I'm murdering this. You'd be given a card of instructions of what to do. They give you the little pot, and you put your sample into the pot, and then they say oh, when you and when you bring it into us, there's certain instructions to do that. And one day the doctor came out, and all the nurses and doctors were going come and look at this, what the fuck is going on? And someone had bought in a jacket potato.
Well, it was initially just this piece of foil giving off a terrible smell amongst all these other normal samples.
And basically the person had put his sample into the pot, and the instructions say and to bring it into us within a day or something, 12 hours of production of the sample, and you have to keep it in your jacket pocket.
Just keep it at a regular temperature.
Such
for
as
example.
such as your jacket pocket. And he misread it as jacket potato, and he was
I just the fucking I'm either picturing this guy completely misreading it and going, this is an interesting way of bringing a sample in somewhere.
Yeah.
But surely you'd think,
As-
why the fuck would they ask me to heat up a jacket potato in my microwave and then jizz in it? It's fucking mental. Absolutely fucking mental.
Oh, yeah.
People
At what point-
terrify me.
When you click go on the microwave, was there not a moment where he went, hang on.
This can't be right. Let me, surely you'd reread that if you read it as jacket potato the first time. I just went, yep, that's what I've got to do.
Jacket potato, here we go.
Yeah.
Wrap it up in some foil, take it down to the GP.
Oh god, that's actually fucking disgusting.
It's disgusting. Yeah, it's funny, but it is disgusting. I feel.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's actually really gross. And he's walking there. He's probably put the jacket potato in his pocket or something. So he's just got this cum-topped jacket potato in his pocket. It's so disgusting.
Oh my god. Kills
If you
me.
haven't listened to Gossip Mongers,
Everyone go listen to Gossip Mongers.
go listen to it. It's
Absolute-
fucking amazing.
Absolute belters.
It's just, yeah, as Reece said, just obscene stories. For just, it's incredible. I used to listen to it on the way to work before masks on the train,
Yeah.
and I used to have to try not to just cry with laughter. And then when masks were introduced, I was actually kind of I don't mind this too much because I can actually smile behind my mask and not have to hide
Yeah.
the fact that this is an incredibly disturbing story at times.
Yeah.
On a quick side note, my favourite Gossip Mongers story, I mean, I'm going to ruin it, but is the one where there's this district sports long jump. And
Oh my god.
This kid was doing the long jump, and every time he'd do it, one of his testicles would fall out of his shorts to the point where word got around district sports and this huge crowd gathered to watch this kid do long jump just to see him slip one of his nuts out.
Yeah.
Just incredible. Incredible stories like that.
Yeah.
So, that's a great interval. Well done, Reese.
Thanks.
Very happy with that.
Right, moving on. Let's go back to feet.
Back to feet. We'll stick on the funny stories things. I think it transitions quite nicely.
Yeah, go on.
Their first gig sounded like an absolute belter, as you can probably imagine.
Yeah,
their first show was an acoustic charity show.
Of course.
Where I think
We've done
they did
too
a
many
cover
of
of Jesus Christ, we know how they go. And I think the song they did was Under the Bridge by Chili Peppers.
Okay.
But then they got kicked out because they built a beer can tower during the headliner's set, and it fell down mid-set, and they got kicked out. Oh god! Which and especially knowing how charity acoustic shows go.
Yeah. Oh,
I would have paid to have seen that.
Yeah.
You definitely need something like that to spice it up.
Yeah, they're always so weird, aren't they?
They are bizarre. I like that. They're okay. They're fun. They're for charity.
Oh yeah, we've definitely had some great ones, but when they're sort of like, like a local small charity putting on an event in Farnham,
where like one of the PA doesn't work, none of the amps they're all like 200 years old.
Yeah, I don't know. And everyone looks at you like you're an alien. It's
yeah, they're like they've gone to see live music and then they're shocked that there's live music.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, wow, it's got 6 strings. Wow, interesting.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a real spectacle. So
no, and they're always the ones where I have to play a cajon and I have to explain to about 20 boomers what a cajon is.
Like, it doesn't take a lot to kind of look at it and go, okay, he's the drummer and he's playing a percussive box.
Yeah.
That's all. You don't need to ask questions.
Yeah.
Which is why the busking kit has definitely helped.
It has.
Limit those conversations.
Definitely. Yeah.
So this week I made a conscious effort because last week the way I tend to listen to these albums is through my speakers. But because I'd listened to this album massively throughout the first lockdown, like when the weather was glorious and going on walks was the only thing you could do.
Yeah.
I listened to this album so much, but just had it as like background. Didn't really pay much attention to it. I just knew that I liked it.
Yeah.
But then listening to it throughout this week and last week, I've been sort of listening a lot more to the production, and it's great the way they balance everything, because there's a lot going on throughout the album.
There's so much.
But they balance it so well.
Yeah.
Like,
did they? Did they like produce it themselves, or did they? I'm guessing they did.
Do
you not know?
I think they had a producer help them.
Right.
Because I had this conversation with Adele last night.
Oh, really?
And I'm pretty sure their producer engineer, they have a producer or engineer.
Oh, okay.
I think Adele's met him.
Oh, cool.
I think. Don't quote me on that. Maybe.
You're on record now. But yeah, it does sound amazing.
But yeah, so the thing, like last week you were sort of mentioning how drums are panned off to one side.
Oh, yeah.
Bits and bobs. The way that they do this is, it's like left and right guitar is in left and right ear, and then everything is just a beautiful wall of sound in the middle. And then everything kind of fits. Obviously some things are then also panned sideways as well, but guitars are all, especially left and right.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what gives it that really quirky sound as well, because it's two like completely different guitar sounds. You'll have one doing some mental, like, weird effecty, lead line thing all the way over here, and then the other one's playing, chords or something on the other side, and that everything kind of just feels like quirky.
No, definitely. It's because also the guitars are sometimes playing significantly different things, but it's produced really nicely where neither is overbearing,
Yeah.
and they both just kind of slot together really nicely. Drum sound, like the drums are sick as well. The drums are produced and mixed really nicely.
Yeah.
Because they at times there's obviously like the huge drum parts like Goodrich's Crash Landing, like the
Yeah.
bit before it goes into the double time. Like that's huge.
Yeah.
But it's not overpowering in any way. Everything's at the perfect level for me.
Yeah, it's just kind of good, like punk kind of drum sounds, I guess, isn't it? Yeah.
What's it gonna be? Red, yellow, green, purple, blue. All my life is tinted.
No, absolutely. Because I was looking at, like I said earlier, about similar bands.
Oh, yeah.
If people are looking if they like this album and they're looking for similar things, Sports Team are one band that I would recommend who kind of have that more upbeat side of this album.
Yeah.
Less of the heavier stuff, but again, upbeat. And another band is Do Nothing, who have very similar instrumentals to this, where it's kind of I never really know how to describe this kind of music.
Yeah, me neither. And I think, because I was thinking about that, like, throughout the week, kind of thinking, how am I don't... Because we picked this album, and I love it, and like I say, I showed this to you, like, I don't actually know when I showed this to you, like a year or two ago, maybe?
It would have been... Fuck, it would have been 2019
Yeah.
when it came out, yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's so great. But when after we picked it, I was like, I don't even know what I'm going to say, because I don't know anything about like any of the genres that are kind of throughout this
literally.
album. I know nothing about like Britpop. I don't really know anything about sort of like psych rock or British punk. I don't. It's
But
not,
I think
it's
that
not
kind
my,
of shows.
It's not my thing generally, but this for some reason really is. I can't.
But I think that shows why it's so good. I think that's why it shows why it's
Yeah.
such a great album, is because you can just instantly get into it without having to worry about previous knowledge of similar bands, genres or albums.
Yeah, well, of course,
you know?
I wasn't worried about that, before we decided to talk about it. When sometimes, like, when we record, it's like, we should probably have something interesting to talk about.
Yeah,
or
I
like
mean-
have
I mean,
some kind of
yeah.
experience in what it is to kind of, I don't know. We're not trying to educate people, but
No, I like just chatting shit and talking about why I love these albums.
yeah.
Um,
But I suppose when I don't know anything about a lot of the genres that are kind of included, I feel like I should know about it, because there'll be people listening to this going, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
what is he talking about? We have an email address if you want to send Reese some hate. So, but yeah, no, I it was like with the with losing the Yakuza. Like, I wasn't really
Yeah,
very
true.
educated on that kind of stuff, yet I still loved the album and still had a really good
Yeah,
time listening to it. And I think if I was to recommend a kind of situational time to listen to this album, it's either when you're in the mood to dance or you're going on a sunny walk
nice. Or in a nice cold shower.
or in a nice cold shower, which is not something I do on the regular, but
Yeah. No, you're definitely right. It's such a good. I'd imagine if you drive, this is a great
definitely, yeah,
driving album.
absolutely. Because it's just like we said previously, the way it moves, well, you have no idea what's about to happen, but when it happens, it feels right, and it's fucking great. And if you want to watch them live, they do this really good live from the feet flat session where it's all filmed through like a fisheye lens, and they're all just sat around doing. It's relatively stripped back, but it's still pretty big, and it's just a really nice watch. Like they've done a really nice job with kind of the setup and the aesthetic of the video. And then they've got their BBC Introducing at Reading and Leeds 2019 was filmed, and they did Outer Rim, and they have these like almost like Klingon masks that go up to their nose, and then they have like pink wigs on.
Okay.
And having like kind of watched previous live videos and listening to the album, you're kind of like, yeah, that seems like the natural thing for them to do at Reading and Leeds. And it, you know, again, they're just guys having fun.
Yeah, they just do what.
Which is how it should be. They don't take themselves too seriously, and like I feel like with bands that I do really like, that are kind of on like massive scale within this kind of these genres, like Arctic Monkeys were like just a couple of guys from Sheffield who were having fun, and then Stardom hit and they started taking themselves too seriously.
Yeah, 100%.
And it kind of, I remember seeing them at Reading and Leeds headlining in like 2014, and he didn't say a single word to the crowd pretty much for the whole thing, and it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, I can imagine you could just, the lead singer's probably chatting shit to everyone and just kind of enjoying the experience of being able to play in front of so many people.
Yeah.
Which I think is what it's all about. And I think, like we keep saying, this is a very British album.
Yeah.
The same with sort of the themes that Liz Lawrence covers and so many other bands cover. It's just the joys of living in what is a bit of a shithole. And the weather's always a bit shit. Yeah. But it's great.
But
you know.
Yeah, exactly. You can still go home and have a frozen pizza and then go to the
find your house has been robbed.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a real downer on you. He must have been so excited going, I've got a fucking frozen pizza in the fridge, in the freezer. I'm gonna put it on, then I'm gonna go to the pub and have a great time.
Yeah.
Opens the front door, shit, I've been burgled. Day ruined.
We shouldn't be laughing, really. It's pretty bad.
No, sorry for the robbery. Not that we did it, but sorry you got robbed. That's the correct way of putting it. But yeah, no, fucking great album.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend it. And I really hope they release more soon.
Yeah, I haven't listened to the other singles, so I need to listen to that. But yeah, I think, did I see that they are actually releasing another album at some point soon? Did I see that?
I hope so. They could well be.
I see something about them releasing something in August, or I think I might have seen it on a some sort of interview they did or something. Let me have a look.
Let's have a look. Because the only interviews, they did a lot of interviews around the time of the album release and just before. So those were the main ones that I was kind of looking through. And I highly recommend looking through their kind of interviews and stuff, because they're really funny. They're really funny guys.
Yeah. Okay, no, so that was the single that came out on the 20th of April, Peace and Quiet. Okay, no, I must have made it up. It doesn't look like they have, or at least not on the website.
Hopefully
anyway.
Soon they do.
Hopefully they do. I'll definitely listen to it.
100%. But yeah, we've I feel like we're nearing the end, and we've kind of gone unscathed with penalty words this week.
Yeah, no more showers. Well, at least
no more cold showers. At least for next week. What was yours?
Mine was surf rock.
Surf rock. Mine was jangly.
Jangly. Oh, I could have gone there with the guitar.
You nearly
thing.
said it. You nearly said it, and I was like, oh.
I say jangly a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like,
my kind of word.
It is your kind of word, and there are some jangly guitar parts in this.
Yeah.
So I was like, he's going to say it.
Good effort.
That's definitely probably one of my closest efforts.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
But yeah, what album? Did you tell us what album you're going to bring next week?
I don't know. I'm not sure which album I'll bring next week, actually.
Have a think about it.
So I'll have a think. I've got a few options.
It'll be a surprise.
Yes, it will be. In fairness, I realised a couple episodes ago I said I was going to bring the Mars Volta, and then I didn't.
Yes.
I bought Carnival instead. I was not going to bring Mars Volta.
Okay.
Because I think it's just too much.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. At least for now, anyway. So I don't know.
No, that's fine.
I'll bring something good, and it'll be a surprise.
Oh, we need to add 3 songs
Oh, yeah.
to our playlist.
Okay, here we go.
So I think we can mutually decide on Add Blue. So we were doing it, you do 2 and I do 1 because I bought this album.
Yeah, so I'll pick my 2 favourite. So
Yeah.
So title track, What's Inside is More Than Just Ham, and I'm gonna put I don't know, Chalet 47 or Add Blue. See, I really like Petty Thieving as well. I'm putting Petty Thieving.
Nice.
Baby, steal. So it's still. I steal. So it's still.
Okay. And I'm going to go with Chalet 47.
Ooh, okay.
That's tough.
That is tough.
Picking. That is a tough pick.
Because we've got Dog Walking, English Weather, Add Blue, and Good Richards.
All not making the 3-song cut.
And Axeman.
And Axeman.
They're all bangers.
Yeah.
They're all so good.
It's such a good album.
Yeah.
There
There you go. So that's in the This Is an Album playlist.
Actually, themata into What's Inside is More Than Just Ham isn't actually a terrible transition
It's not too bad.
compared to others in there, like Pop Therapy to Roquefort.
Yeah.
Maybe shuffle this playlist. I think this playlist will be consumed best shuffled.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, I think that's it. I think we're good.
I think so.
We've had a cold shower.
I'm absolutely baking in here. Sometimes it's really nice to come and sit in here, but
Other times it's you're putting a sweat on.
I'm really putting a sweat on. I'm going to go have a cold shower.
Nice. Well, whilst Reese enjoys his cold shower, we hope that you enjoy this album, and we'll see you and speak to you in the next one.
Hell yeah. See you next week.
Hell yeah. Goodbye.